Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I brought with me today both of the Melody Beatty books to read and get some meditations going and get us centered. It's almost the weekend. So let's read some meditations, and are you guys ready? Are you ready? Okay, let's see. Today is July 24th. And I don't know which one to pick from. Let's pick from this one. I haven't read from this one in a while. We are like almost, we are halfway through the year. I cannot believe it. Okay, July 24th. Please be a good one. Speak to me today, universe. Joy. Joy to the world. Joy is the way. July 24th. Okay, let's read this one. The woman was in her 50s, maybe 60s. She had retired from, okay, so the ones in Journey to the Heart are a little bit more like stories with meditations kind of after them. If you guys have not heard me, I rarely read from this one anymore. Okay, July 24th, Joy is the way. The woman was in her 50s, maybe 60s. She had retired from the big city and was now working as a waitress in Mary's Restaurant, a small cafe in a small Montana town. She looked as if she lived alone. She looked as if she had been through her share of disappointments, joys, and awakenings. She brought me a plate of bacon and eggs, set them down, and gave me a radiant smile. It's a beautiful day, she said. Yes, it is, I said. I looked at her. Are you happy to be here? She thought a moment, then replied, yes, she said with joy in her voice. Yes, I am. Joy is the way. Joy is the morning. Joy throughout the day. Joy at twilight. Joy in our dreams, waking and sleeping. For so long, we believed that our joy depended on specific outward circumstances, on a particular situation being a certain way, or on the presence or behavior of a particular person. While getting what we want and being with those we love can add to our joy, we have learned another kind of joy, a deeper kind of joy, a joy that abides and carries us through. Joy doesn't come from the outside, although the energies of the universe and universal love can add to our joy and fill our wellspring. Joy comes from doing the divine will each moment. Joy comes from living in harmony with ourselves each moment of each day. Joy is a choice that comes from accepting and living fully each moment of our lives, knowing that each day and each event is important. Joy comes from trusting each moment. That's the secret of joy. Receive it now, then pass it on with a smile and a kind word to all who come along your path. I love this meditation. You know, so often the meditations that I read on here like really make us think about things and they get really, really deep, which is great. That's great. Sometimes I just need reminders of what is true. You know, do you ever get into your head and you think about things and you script conversations and you think about, oh my gosh, the next time I see this person, this is what I'm going to say, and my feelings are so hurt, or I'm so upset, or if they say this to me, then I'm going to say that to them, and I'm going to be prepared, or if this happens, like we borrow trouble, right? Like if this happens, what am I going to do? And then we stress and we worry about it. Well, if this happens, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll do this and then I'll do that. And then we stress and we worry about it, right? I did that for years and years and years. One of my sponsors from back in the day would always say to me, the 90% of what you worry about never even happens. 90% of what you worry about never even happens. And he would say to me, why can't you just choose to be happy? And I'm like, I don't know. Like every day I would wake up, you know, and today I get a lot of people that will, you know, watch my videos and they'll reach out to me and they'll say, you know, you just seem so positive each and every day. I don't wake up positive each and every day. And if you watch my vlogs, you know that like in the last, I would say 6 to 8 months, I've really been struggling with a lot of anxiety in my life. And I wake up and that's really hard. And then that kind of leads me into like really negative thinking sometimes. And I kind of have to work myself out of it. And that's why I start my day with like doing my prayers and my meditations. And then I kind of just sit in the chair and I look at the bird feeders and I look at the birds. And it really centers me to just kind of like see the world going on, right? Like without me. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but this is not to minimize anybody's life experience. But what I'm saying is that in that moment, I feel very small in the world. What I realize is I'm no greater than or less than anybody else. You know, I'm just part of this bigger universe, and that the world's going to continue to go on. It's without me or with me, and I can choose how I want to contribute to that world. I can choose whether, you know, I can contribute to it in a positive way or I want to contribute to it in a negative way. And really, I'm the one that's going to be the most affected by it. And, you know, actually, I'm like, go in my head. When I used to work in treatment, we used to start every day with this kind of prayer meditation that I liked. Hold on a second. I know who it's by. It's by Hartzell Wilson. H-E-A-R-T. Hartzell Wilson. It's called The Beginning of a New Day. And I just want to read this because I love this so much. Hold on a second. Where is it at? Images. Okay. I don't know if this is... Sometimes they kind of edit it a little bit and I just have a picture of it. So here it is. Hold on a second. Today is the beginning of a new day. God has given me this day to use as I will. I can waste it or use it for good. What I do today is very important because I am exchanging a day of my life for it. When tomorrow comes, this day will be gone forever, leaving something in its place I have traded for it. I want it to be a gain, not a loss. Good, not evil. Success, not failure. In order that I shall not regret the price I paid for it. And we used to read that every morning, this community thing that we did when I worked in treatment. And I loved it because it reminded me that what I do with today is up to me. There are going to be days in our lives that are so astronomically traumatic and sad and horrible that, and I hope that you're not having one of those days today. And if you are, I'm sending you lots of love and kindness and prayers. But there are going to be, I wouldn't say a lot, maybe more for some than others, but we're going to have those days in our lives. Not every day is one of those days. And I used to catastrophize things. I would take things, and if the thing was really like a 3 out of 10 on a scale of how bad it really was, I could take every 2 or 3 and turn them into 7, 8s, or 9s, to the point where I almost kind of thrived on negativity, and this is so bad, and this is so bad, and this is so bad. I almost kind of thrived on it, to the point that like I never could really find any kind of happiness in my life, and it was sad, and I was missing out on my life. And so I do think that it's important to choose joy, and not every day are we going to be able to do that. Not every day. As I'm saying this, I can already hear there's people out there and go, but Peter, you don't know what I'm going through, and I have this going on in my life, and I have that going on in my life, and whatever, and I understand that. And everybody has specific and different things that are going on in their life, specific and different circumstances that make your life more horrible than the next person. I don't know that I just want to live my life always kind of constantly comparing how horrible my life is to how horrible somebody else's life is. I don't know that that's the competition that I want to win, you know? And I'll be honest with you, I have had many people in my life that have had, and they have been such teachers and role models to me, that have had such horrendous things happen to them in their life. Horrific medical issues after medical issues after medical issues, and disease and death. And they always present with such grace and joy. And I say that they're role models to me because they are. Because that is how I want to approach the world. I don't always do a great job of that. There are times that I still catastrophize things. There are times that I still feel out of control. But, you know, like when I was talking about how, like, people say, you start your day and you're so positive. I have tools. I have toolbox today. You know, I have a support network. I have a sponsor. I have a therapist. I have my husband. I have my friends. I talk to people. I live out loud. And when I can't talk to people, I talk to my higher power, or I talk out loud, or I listen to music, or I read books, or I write things down. What can I can't do? I mean, I do lists of, this is what's going on. What can I achieve? You know, what can I change? How can I be part of the solution and not part of the problem? And I try to get out of the problem. I try to get out of the problem of always making everything bad in my life. Because once you start doing that, you start borrowing trouble. And I'm not just talking about, there are going to be 10s out of 10s and 8s out of 10s on our days that they are really bad days. But if you're like me, for much of my life, I took really minimal things and turned them into really horrific things and catastrophized a lot, and I didn't need to. And I missed out on a lot of joy. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to miss out on joy. And I don't want you to miss out on joy anyway, or either. Anyway and either. So, great meditation today. Let me know what you thought about that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.